So my task now, with announcements out of the way, is to introduce our speaker. Back in when we first started everything, oh so long ago, as I mentioned the other night, when we first decided to replicate, we kind of jumped over the cliff and really didn't know how you keep track of such things as databases, so we came up with the ingenious faxing spreadsheets to us every month, and continued as we evolved and grew. Knew that we had to do better than that, and then about in the early 2000s we kind of swung and missed with another provider to help us, and we're rapidly moving down a road of data chaos when the paths crossed with Jacob, and him and his company stepped in, and I don't know, what year was that exactly?
This is 10 years this year.
Yeah, so came in and sorted all that out. We got everything figured out on the short term, and then of course over these last 10 years, things have continued to evolve with the database and also servicing our website. Jacob and I have worked on many other things outside of that, including the as yet to be released cooking segment shows for the cookbook that may not ever see the light of day, but we had a fun time doing it in Jeff's kitchen. And most importantly, we worked together with Amanda and Sarah, who are also here from his team on dollyparton.com, and Minnie, Sarah does so much of the graphics work. So just as we talked about with Ann in direct mail, we have obviously vendors and business relationships, but with folks like Jacob and Sarah and Amanda and all their folks, this is more than that, because they share the mission that we're also actively engaged in. So he's a gentleman at times and a good friend as well. So welcome, Jacob Timmons.
Thank you, David. That last part was kind of hard for you to get out there.
It was. Well, you always choke me up for some reason.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Homecoming 2017. How's it going so far? Great. How's everybody like DreamMore? Awesome.
Dreamy.
So what? Somebody say dreamy? So my name is Jacob Timmons, and president of SD Professionals, a small multimedia company here in town. And also I'm the support administrator for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. And as David mentioned, my team and I, we manage the Imagination Library website and support central, various marketing and branding channels for the program, and of course your book order system known as the BOS. So just over 10 years ago, we were honored to be given the opportunity to create the original BOS, and we're equally honored and proud to still be a part of something so special for so many. From the beginning, the Dollywood Foundation has given us the creative freedom and the financing to continually improve upon the BOS platform, and that still holds true today. I'm working out for a raise, David. It's critically important to the foundation that each of you have a robust, a secure, dependable platform to easily manage your programs. For that reason, over the past 2+ years, we've been tirelessly working on the largest BOS upgrade in the history of the program. An upgrade so massive in scale that it literally affects every aspect of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library online. It's called the Unified Login Upgrade. This Unified Login Upgrade provides one unified global platform for all users of and visitors to Dolly Parton's Imagination Library online. It's broken out into 2 phases. Phase 1, your BOS. Phase 2, the public-facing website. And the upgrade is driven by concrete data, which tells us that in the past 12 months, nearly 85% of all users coming to the public-facing website and to the BOS were using mobile phones and tablets. This change was one that we predicted several years ago, and is exactly the reason why we started the upgrade more than 2 years ago. The Unified Login upgrade puts the brand and the program in place for global consumption, removing access barriers, creating a more viewer-oriented, intuitive system which can be used fully in the office or on the go. So, phase 1, the BOS upgrade. The BOS is a proprietary cloud-based software which we created to house the entire Imagination Library program. From the beginning, being cloud-based has given us some really unique abilities to expand the system's resources. Resources like processing speed, database processing power, hard drive space, bandwidth, and so on. Now, all of these features are unique to cloud-based computing. And like I said, we've had the BOS on cloud-based computing platform for over a decade now. And so when we started over 10 years ago, nobody had ever heard of cloud computing. And for those of you who may not have had the opportunity to use the BOS yet, the BOS is the place where all data is entered, is stored, edited, and ultimately processed to create the monthly book orders, which are then sent to the fulfillment centers to be fulfilled and mailed. From entering a child's registration form to validating their address to creating and managing your program's coverage areas to editing your billing information, it's all done within your BOS. Now, since its creation, we've had one major upgrade from the original version 1.0 to the current version 2.0. Of course, each year, throughout the year, we've continuously upgraded those systems, adding features, editing current features, keeping the platform safe and secure. But now, with today's users flocking to mobile platforms faster than ever before, and with the extreme demand for cross-browser computing, meaning users switching from one device type to the next throughout the day, so you get a little work done at the desktop at the office, then you head out for meetings and you continue doing that work on your tablet or your smartphone. So it's time with that to take a giant leap forward. A leap forward into the world of mobile devices, phablets, tablets, and more. It's time for your BOS to work with you no matter where you are, if you're in the office or on the go. A BOS that adheres to the fluidity of today's online user, one that changes with them no matter the device type. It's time for the next generation, so it's time for the BOS 3.0. So the BOS 3.0, it's not just a new paint job and a set of tires, it's an all-new, state-of-the-art, all-terrain vehicle. How do you like that?
Who wrote that?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Nothing else so far, but just that. So, a critical part of our Unified Login upgrade, the all-new BOS 3.0, it gives you all the features and tools that you depend on currently, while eliminating restrictions of desktop-only computing. With 3.0, even the login and password recovery systems have been reimagined to simplify these processes and to provide easier self-help recovery steps. Now, as mentioned, over the past couple of years, we've tirelessly worked with the Foundation and various users and testers around the world to enhance the existing features and program a laundry list of new ones. We've integrated new data sources to help with program expansion, coverage area expansion, data validation, and most importantly, data security. We've moved away from the desktop-only platform to an all-new responsive platform that automatically adheres to the device capabilities and screen resolutions of each user performing their day-to-day tasks. Simply put, we've taken your BOS to the next level. So, today, I would like to take that for a test drive for you. Is that all right? Depending on DreamMore's internet connection, this could go very smoothly. seeing that. So we'll start back at the very beginning here. Okay. All right. So here we have the new unified login screen. So the unified login screen brings all user types together. Data clerks, coordinators, administrators, regional directors, even parents. All can sign in using their own user credentials, and the BOS is going to take them upon signing in to the respective areas in which they need to manage. With this unified login, we're going to eliminate, or at least drastically reduce, the confusion caused by various user types landing on different types of login screens. So as an example, for those of you who currently use the BOS, as an example, this happens very frequently with parents. So they might come to you and say, my username and password doesn't work. And then you take the time to go in and reset their password for them, and then they come back to you and they say, my password still doesn't work. When all along, they're on the affiliate login page and not the parent area. And that is a flaw in design these days, but when we first put it into commission, there was no other possible way to do it because they were just two separate systems. And you have it labeled affiliate login page and parent login area, but you don't pay attention to those types of things. And when you're afraid your child's going to miss their book, you want to get in when the 60 seconds of freeze time that you have while you're checking Facebook and change that address and get out of there. So hopefully this is going to really alleviate a lot of that, because having one unified login, this will take you where you need to go upon entering your user credentials. So even better, the password recovery system is also unified, allowing any user type to easily reset their own password. So one place to log in, one place to reset your password. Doesn't matter what kind of user, what user type you are, parent or BOS user. Doesn't matter what permissions level, if you're a single or multiple affiliate account, doesn't matter. And the login screen here with the forgot password system, this whole recovery system has been reimagined as well. So just for an example, if you click on forgot password, it brings up the opportunity for you just to click send. So you've entered your email address or your username, and then you've entered your password. You click to log in, you couldn't log in, so then you click password recovery, and you're still right there with your username entered. You don't have to re-enter any information. All you do is click send on that same screen, then your email pops up with the new password. You copy that over, and then you never leave this screen. So it's going to be very helpful for everyone, even new coordinators and new data clerks that are just getting started. So on top of all of that, we've added, I'll cancel out of that. So we've added an enhanced Remember Me feature. The Remember Me feature allows you to click the button and it remembers your user credentials for up to 90 days. Now, we all know for security purposes, the BOS has randomly expiring passwords. That's never going to change because that has really served us well over the years. But if we can remove some of the frustration of having to change your password, what seems like every time you log in, because maybe you log in every 30 or 60 days, this Remember Me feature is going to be very helpful to you. But one thing to caution you, if you use a shared computer, don't use the Remember Me button because you don't want it to remember and then somebody else goes and logs into your account. So now, let's with all of that, let's log in and see what we got on here. So today, I'm going to log in as a group coordinator. So a group coordinator is like a coordinator, but they have the ability to manage multiple users within a group of affiliates, multiple affiliates. So we're going to sign in. Now, today I'm logging in, like I said, as a group coordinator. So as you can see here, when I first log in, I'm given the opportunity to choose which affiliate account I'd like to manage. So in this example, I'm part of a group, 3 affiliates in the group. Test affiliate, TNJT Cobb, that's me. and then TN severe. So those are the three groups, three affiliates in my group. For now, I'm going to choose TN severe, which is Sevier County, Tennessee. Split, the BOS will immediately take me to the new bulletin board page. So ladies and gentlemen, there is your new BOS 3.0. Applause, please. Lots of you in the room have already seen this because, like I said, we've had a lot of beta testers. But for those of you who haven't, I'm going to go through several things here to really highlight some of the features and some of the responsive layout that we have. So, built on a totally responsive platform that presents itself perfectly across all devices. Your new BOS is going to give you the freedom of managing your database in the office and on the go. The days of being tied to the desktop, as I said before, are a thing of the past. So when you hear me say the word responsive, what I mean is the website is built to morph itself by its appearance, its content is going to change automatically and restructure its layout according to your device type and screen size. To understand that, let's cover our bulletin board page content and then we'll see it in motion. So at the top left, we have our logo, which when clicked will always take us home. Next, we have our new registrations alert bar on the left, as you see here. Then we have, and we'll go into more detail in each of these in just a bit. Then we have our menu, which contains our daily operations, MailChimp access, and the report center access. Underneath, we have our urgent alert tickers. Upper right, we have our new profile menu, profile icon, and to the top of that, we have our support icon. This little question mark is going to take us to support. In the center of the page, we have a new year-to-date registrations model. Then we have your monthly process calendar. And then we have all important bulletin board content underneath that. Now, let's see, like I mentioned before, let's see it in action. So what I want to do is, I want to show you what it's going to look like on a mobile device. To do that, I'm just going to make my browser smaller. Raise your hand if you've seen this before. Not that many. Okay, good. All right, so here we go. Move some of this up. Okay. We scroll back up to the top. Take a look here. You got your logo, you got your menu, you got your, all of these options. So then if we make it smaller, I'm sorry, normally people tell me to shut up. So we make it smaller, you see the whole page begins to change itself. You see that? So it stacks itself. It stays in order, but it stacks itself according to your screen size and according to the device type. Some devices can display more, harder pages to process than others. So the major difference in the mobile layout and the desktop layout is going to be your navigation. So if you go back to desktop, we have all of our menus as we're used to seeing and navigating through, right? And then when we minimize, we have no menu, it seems. But actually, our menu has been condensed into these 3 bars here. These 3 bars are called hamburger bars. And I didn't name them, but if I would have named them hamburger bars. So, at any time that you see the hamburger bars, you should know that they represent your menu. So we click on the hamburger bars and like magic, all the menu options will appear. So I'm clicking on them now, but really and truly, in real world, when you're using this, you're probably going to be touching them. Because when you see this screen, or this layout of the screen, you're probably going to be on the mobile device, either using your hands or a stylus. They work either way, but that's why they're, larger buttons and kind of expanded views so that they're easier to see and easier to touch. If we click the hamburger bars again, our menu goes away. So that menu hides itself to keep the screen content uncluttered and easy to navigate. So next, if you notice, our profile menu on mobile is no longer at the top right. That's because for the screen size, there's no room, but don't worry, it's still accessible. It's in the hamburger bar menu. It's just been automatically placed in your main menu here. So there you have it on the bottom. Now, although our profile menu did move to our main menu and our hamburger under the hamburger bars, our support icon remains in the upper right, right here. So when you need help, it's always going to be in the upper right, no matter what device type you're using. So another thing you'll notice, the new registrations alert bar is not available on mobile because there's no room there. But via mobile, it's still accessible by going to your hamburger bars, daily operation, child management, and pending. And everything's still there. It's broken out. You can still see it all together like you used to seeing pending registration and that sort of thing now, but it's also broken out for you, just as it's done on the registrations alert bar in the desktop version. Now, in addition, as I mentioned, to your menu options moving around, your screen size, with your screen size, your page content does rearrange itself as well. So, just remember, if it's a little confusing in the beginning, while you're kind of getting used to it, just remember, it stays logically ordered. So it's always going to be left to right. So for example, we have, everything is here on our desktop layout, just as we see it, and then when we minimize, we're on mobile, everything is still there, it's just stacked on top of itself, and it goes from left to right. Now, skip ahead there a little bit. So let's again maximize our display here and go through some of the internal features. So, as I mentioned before, each country's design, well, I actually didn't mention that, each country's design is the same. And for those users who manage multiple affiliates, you can now easily switch affiliates by using your user profile menu. So if you remember when we first logged in, we could choose the affiliate account that we wanted to use. And now that we're in, we simply use our profile menu. You go to switch affiliate, and we can change the account simply by choosing our new affiliate. And you always know where you are because under the profile menu, or at the top of the profile menu, we have your name, and then we also show you the mnemonic code of the affiliate that you're managing at that time. Now, most of the areas that you are familiar with, if you use the BOS, are still in place but with a more intuitive design, while some areas have been combined and condensed. So directly below our main menu, as I mentioned, we have the urgent alerts, and then if we move forward to the left, the registrations alerts menu, the all new registrations alerts menu, I want to just go in a little detail there. So for the first time, with the registrations alert menu, we can now see how many children are waiting for your review and approval. Even better, those records are broken out by groups. So we have, we have delete requests, we have NCOA where NCOA is available. Not all countries have NCOA. And then we have parent edits, we have possible duplicates, we have registrations, and we have transfers. So anytime any of those events happen and a child is put into pending, then you are notified immediately upon logging in with these registration alerts. And not to flog the horse, but those options are also available under child management. So if you log in using a device that, that the registrations alert menu doesn't show on, just remember it's under child management as well. Now below the registrations alert, we have our total active children for that particular affiliate, our total graduate count, and then we have two shortcut keys, one to add a child and one to search, edit for any child. Now to manage clutter, let's say you have a stack of registrations, you're entering registrations, and you want to streamline your display and your process. The arrows allow you to hide the registrations alert menu and then reveal as you find necessary. So, if you have a medium to larger size affiliate group, you have lots of data clerks or lots of coordinators, or you manage, you're a group coordinator, manage multiple affiliates. You may remember all of the pages that you have to go through to search for or to edit any of your affiliate user types, or for that matter, help them reset their password. So as an administrator, we have, in the current BOS, we have over 30 menu items just associated with user types. So it can be very confusing if you're trying to quickly help someone troubleshoot their login, or even if you're just trying to add a new user. That's because, again, in the beginning, everything was separated in separate databases. Now, with the unified login, we have condensed all of those areas. And although a smaller affiliate may not be as affected by the new layout of these areas, it'll still be a welcome change for you. So what we've done is we've condensed all of the user type areas into one new layout called the BOS users. So now you have one area, doesn't matter the user type, of the BOS user type, that you can go search for, you can edit, you can reset passwords, you can find login history, you can even search by keyword, search by email, you can even filter by user type. So that's all of the pages that we once had for all of the user types, 30 plus pages, are now condensed into one area. Now, I mentioned the password reset as one of the things you can do. Many of you probably haven't seen the new password options. So I'm just going to go into this record here. This is a data clerk. It's notated by the icon D, and then when you mouse over it, it tells you it's a data clerk. And then you click Edit to reset anyone's password now, whether it be one of your users or a parent user. You go to the child profile or the BOS user profile, and you now have these two blue icons. The first icon, when you mouse over it, it says click to reset password. The second icon, when you mouse over it, it gives you the history of that user's password. And so if we click here, that user will immediately get a new password. If we're trying to investigate an issue where maybe we've already done a password reset, or maybe the user comes to you and said they've already reset their password, whatever the reason might be, sometimes you need to know what the history of that user is. And when you mouse over this little clock icon, we can tell you that the last time this user had requested a password was on 6/9/17, and the status being sent means the user actually received the password email and opened the email. And then the 30-day history means this user in the past 30 days has had 10 new passwords. And that's, who is this? Kathy. That's Kathy. Where's Kathy? Oh, I'm going to get her to stand up. But that's really helpful. You know, we do need to talk to Kathy about resetting her password. Okay. So, just for privacy reasons, I won't go into a child's record to do that, but those same options are in a child's profile. If the parent has an email in the account, those same options are there. which hopefully will be very helpful, because even if the parent had done a password reset for themselves, it would show in this area. Let's skip ahead here. Okay. So with all of that, we now have easier than ever access to the BOS via the unified login. We have easier self-help login recovery steps, and we have easier assisted login recovery for all user types. Now moving on to the most important people in the BOS, the kids. Over the past year or so, you may have noticed that on the there's a new ID number on the child's books, the label that's printed. If you haven't noticed, I think, is that available, Sam, in all countries? So now the labels have an ID number on it. And that ID is actually their child ID that is generated by the book order system when they're first registered. So with that information, what we can now do when you are trying to troubleshoot, a parent calls you or maybe the child was flagged for the NCOA, or you're having one of those horrible USPS address issues where the address says it's good, or the parent says it's good and the website says it's not. Anyway, we've given you a new tool. The label has the child ID number on it that's generated from the book order system, so now, even more securely, you can exchange information via phone and email of the child just by using that child ID number, which is now searchable in the book order system. And we went one step further with that because, especially with NCOA, NCOAs in Canada and the USA, right? So especially with NCOA, sometimes it just takes a lot of investigating, a lot of labor to figure things out. And a lot of times what happens is the system will automatically flag a child. NCOA is a national change of address. A little late to say that, sorry. But the system, the BOS, will flag an address during the monthly process because the NCOA tells it to flag an address. And so when that child is flagged, they go into a pending status. But you aren't aware they're in a pending status because last time you checked, they were in an active status and they're getting booked. So now, not only can you search for that child by the child ID number, you can now search for and reveal by status. So you can see all active children for that search, all pending children for that search, or both together. So we think that's going to be extremely helpful, especially in those cases and probably, hopefully, many other cases where you're doing research on the child's record. Another thing I'll do here on this page is just click to show you the pagination. Pagination is where you can see multiple pages, and at the bottom of the web page you can see page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and jump back and forth. We've added, we're loaded here, so waiting on internets to load. There we go. So while you're doing your database work, one thing that's been restricted by default for these 10 years is we will only show you 10 records at a time, and that's for processing speed limitation. And now with the new system, we have quadruple the processing speed. So now we're allowing you to see 10 records, 20 records, or up to 50 records at a time. And you still have the ability to go page to page if you prefer, and you still have the ability to jump from page to page with your drop-down. For those of you who do a lot of data work, that's going to be really helpful. Because a lot of times when you get an NCOA back in, you won't have maybe 50 or 60 records. So now you can see them all on the screen at one time, and you can download all of that information if necessary. And now you have the child ID and the active and the pending, all of these tools to search and remedy the issue. Let's go back to the home page here. And all of the standard search options in the child area still exist. Now, let's head over to edit our affiliate profile. I'm going to skip the coverage areas for just a minute, but I'll come back to that. So to edit the affiliate profile. This area, just as the BOS user area, has also been reimagined. While it used to be multiple pages for each section, is now condensed into one easy to manage page. From this singular page, we can now manage our affiliate profile, our public-facing enhanced profile information, and removing confusion. Eliminating not knowing where do I go to edit that information that's showing on that page of the website. There was a lot of that. And everything is now here in one page, easy to edit, and anytime you have public information on this page, it is notated. So for example, this where it says registration options, if you see, it says contains publicly displayed information. So when we launch this, not only will you know when you're editing your profile, for example, what information is public, you'll be able to click this little arrow here and it'll pop up the page in which it shows on. So all of that should help with, with keeping your profile up to date. Enhanced profiles are the most popular pages on the website. So we definitely want to keep that information up to date. I'm just skipping through here because while I'm done, I wanted you to see these other icons that we've added to the affiliate edit profile. You may have seen these already. If you haven't, we now give you the ability in BOS 3.0 from your affiliate profile to choose how you offer registrations, online, mail-in, or on location. You can choose all if you want. But now, while you're editing your profile, you can actually manage your registration types and, I'm sorry, what? Is there a volume button? Because I'm really talking loud. Technical support, please. Check one. Is that better in the back? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, could you stand back there, Kate? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so back to these icons. So just a show of hands, how many people were aware that there were 3 registration types? So about less than half of the room knew that you could have online registrations, mail-in registrations, and registrations by on location. Now, the reason why we added on location, which that's kind of a given, but then we saw where people were using, like you might have a registration event, and you can actually change your on location information to the registration event address. So that way you're driving people to your event, and then go back in when the event's over, change it back, or turn off that option. So another thing that we were hearing was, why is there a generic registration form? Well, it's because in the beginning there wasn't a registration form for parents to download, so then we created one, and now with the new BOS 3.0 we are giving you the option in your affiliate edit area to add your own registration brochure. Of course, it has to be approved by the Dollywood Foundation, which I don't know how many people come up to me, but it was a lot saying, we need to add our information, our contact information, our logo, our organization's information into our brochure, which made total sense. And now you can do that with 3.0. So when you add that to the 3.0, what that does is, when a parent goes to register and they enter their address, and that address matches your coverage area, then these 3 options, if you have them all turned on, will present to the parent. So then the parent gets to choose which way they want to register, whether it be online, which is 99% of the time, or if they want to mail in. If they decide they want to mail in, then they click to download, print the brochure, and that brochure is your own branded brochure. So, with that, let's go over to the coverage area settings. This is something that I think, I don't want to glaze through. It's very important. I think it'll be very important to each of you. In the coverage area, we've added data from the pre-registrations list, and I need to explain what that is. So when a parent comes, just like I said, to register to the website, but they live in an area where the program is not currently available or currently doesn't exist, then they can actually click a couple of buttons to be notified if the program becomes available in their area. Okay? that this has existed for quite some time, but now it's been enhanced, and it's a very fluid system, and you need to be aware of this because it's going to be helpful as you try to expand your program. So a parent comes, they go to register, it's not available, they click a couple of buttons, they can be notified when it becomes available. So how are they notified when it becomes available? When you go in as an affiliate and you add a zip code or a postcode in city, state, county, province, if you add something to your coverage area and you save that, then a notification, if that coverage area matches a parent that is pre-registered, that parent is sent a notification and says, hey, the program is now available in your area. And not only are they told that it's available, whatever of those three icons, online registration, mail-in, or on location that you've chosen to turn on, is going to show on that email address for them. So if you chose to offer online registrations and you added that coverage area, that parent's notified and it says, hey, this is the affiliate information, this is who is taking care and sponsoring this program in the area, give them a hand, and hey, here's the button, go click and register online. And then when they click that button, it takes them to your enhanced profile. Right now, we have over 300,000 parents pre-registered. 300,000.
Is there a way to see those? To sort it by zip code and see how many are signed up?
Give me just a second there. Okay. Hold all questions, please. I'll get there, I promise. I promise. So, with the 300,000 parents, I mean, that, we went from having, when we first started, the first year we had maybe 26,000, and then we had, before we know it, we had 100,000, and now we've just jumped to 300,000, and it's, I mean, you can refresh the page, and that number is going up like a ticker. That's because program popularity is just off the charts. So what I want to show you now on this page, which will answer your question, as you can see in the column here marked TPR, that stands for Total Pre-Registered Children. In any area, like for this particular example, it's 37862, and I just added this as an example for today. But you see that number 1? That means that in 37862, Tennessee, Sevierville, Sevier County, that number 1 means one child was pre-registered. When I mouse over that, it tells me that that parent was notified. The little circle kind of gets in the way, but can y'all see the word notified? And then the one right below, it's the same kind of thing, but it was 3 children pre-registered. Mouse over that, and it tells you that it's notified. If they weren't notified, then the only way that they're not notified is if that that coverage area has not been covered. It's not covered currently. And so with that, when you go to add a new coverage area, you click your click your little plus here and go in to add a new coverage area. You select the area. If we have pre-registration data, it's going to show you right there before you add that coverage area, and it's going to tell you, hey, there are 3 pre-registered children, and those parents are going to be notified the moment you click Save here. Okay? So in addition to that, though, we've done one better. For the countries where it's available, we started with the U.S. The total eligible population is next to it. That's real-time census data. So now, you know, hey, I'm trying to work on a grant. How many kids are in this are eligible in this area? And not only that, but knowing that information and seeing a number beside that to prove that there's already popularity for the program in the area that you're considering covering, we think that's going to be a game changer there. Hopefully it will be. So does that answer your question? Okay. And so when you look on your list of currently covered areas, all the numbers are going to be great because we've already notified the parents that were in pre-registration because you already covered that area. But when you're searching and you're looking to expand into new areas, before you do that, we're going to tell you how many parents are going to be notified, and we're going to show you the eligible population for that area. So.
Jim, is that only available in the U.S.?
Is that only in the U.S.?
Currently, it's in the U.S. and I think the second country is going to be we're going to expand the United Kingdom next. If you are aware of census data that we can get our hands on, we will incorporate that for Canada. Okay? We looked for it, we found it, but it's not free. Okay? The USA census data is free, and they have an API now. For those of you not familiar with that, that's a way to connect the back ends of the systems to talk to each other. And the API allows us access to their census data, so it's real time. And I think the United Kingdom, they have a system called PAF, P-A-F, and that's where we're going to try and integrate that information next. Okay? So moving on, so next we've got, still doing pretty good on time here, so next we have our MailChimp option. For those of you not familiar with MailChimp, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but it's important to understand that, you know, what it is. So it's a world-class email communications platform. So it's been integrated into your BOS, allowing you to communicate with your parent users while staying within federal data protection laws and guidelines in place to protect child data. I can't say this firmly enough. You can't just download child data and upload it to a third party. It is illegal. It is not possible. You should never do that. There are federal laws in place to protect child data. And so we have to tiptoe that line, and we have to make sure that we adhere to all laws in place in all countries. And we found that there was a demand for communicating with parents, and the way we filled that demand was with MailChimp. MailChimp allows us to communicate with their system and the BOS in a way that that aligns with all federal laws and regulations. The great part about MailChimp is for over 90% of our affiliates worldwide, it's free. If you have a larger program where you have, I think it's, you send over 12,000 emails monthly, or I think it's 2,000 parent accounts, then there is a fee for it, but it is the cheapest of its kind out there, and you get a nonprofit special Imagination Library discount for that. Imagination Library, the Dollywood Foundation makes nothing off of that, of course. They just paid us to connect the two systems so that people could communicate legally with their parents. And I'll tell you, we're seeing amazing content come from affiliates. Just affiliates inviting parents to community events and talking about the program and sharing reading tips. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. Great work. And bless you. Every week we see more and more, and people are getting more creative, and the content coming out is really impressive. So for those of you using MailChimp, kudos to you for doing an awesome job with your content. So. Moving on, we have our reporting area here, and visual charts for all reporting area have been upgraded using the new JavaScript. It's a JavaScript language by AmCharts called the Chalkboard series. So we're just at your book counts here. We'll just choose June. That's not June. Choose June. Click results here, and then you'll kind of see what I mean once we populate that data. Now, while we're waiting on the data to load, there we go. Okay, so now it's loaded. So you see the reason why it's called Chalkboard. You can kind of see it there. It just looks, like a chalkboard, but it's cool because it's interactive. It's cool because it's mobile friendly, and it's functional more so than the reporting software that we've ever had in the past. So what you're looking at here is the book counts for groups 1 through 6. If you wanted to just see, groups 4 through 6, for example, or 3 through, you can interact with all of the settings within the chart that's on display here. And furthermore, all of the data that is on that it takes to produce that chart is available, as it always has been via your book order system, in table format, and it's also downloadable as usual. Now, one thing, I've gotten our script here again, but one thing I wanted to make note of was that when you get used to using the BOS on a mobile device, according to your mobile device type, you may not have the ability to download content. Sometimes, when you can download a picture, and sometimes you can download a spreadsheet, but sometimes you can't, and sometimes you can, according to your device type, you can't always download. And we have programmed it so that if you can't download, we will detect that by your device. And if your device is unable to download, we will display that information via an on-screen spreadsheet that can then be sent to you like via email, and then you can download it the next time you're at a desktop computer or a device that allows download. That's a really big hurdle there. So I know I use the latest version of iPhone, and I still have some moments where I'm doing work or trying to download something. You just can't download it. You can only display it via the device. Another thing, this was an affiliate suggested this while we were testing. We have added the books mailed list to the menu. So it used to be on the sidebar. So we have added the books mailed list as a menu item. And we've added pagination to that, which means now you can see a few months at a time and then go page to page to see all past books mailed. And the same thing goes with this area. You can choose to see up to 50 records, and you can jump page to page, and you can download it. Okay. So let's move back to the top right of the VOS here. This little green square with the letter G means that I'm a group coordinator. Each user is notated by their own icon. D for data clerk, C for coordinator, M for main coordinator, G for group coordinator. Of course, this notates, as I mentioned before, my name, and currently I'm using TN Sevier, which is Sevier County, Tennessee. The arrow drop down allows me to switch affiliates, edit my profile, and log out. And on the very edge of the page, we have our question mark. Question mark takes us to support. Again, remember, it shows no matter what device type you're on, it's always going to be in the top right corner. When you click on the question mark now, your support center opens on top of the VOS. You can go ask for support, you can go search support articles, you can read, you can share, you can do everything that you do in support now, but you can now do it inside of the VOS, and when you're done, you close it out, and you right back where you started without losing your place. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There was a kind of quick overview of your new VOS 3.0. So, So, well, thank you for that. So, and what I'm really happy to announce right now is that you can, as of this moment, begin using the VOS 3.0. So there you go. There's the big reveal. Let me get back over to my slideshow here, and I'll give you the information you need to do that. Here you go. Start the current slide. Okay. So, things to remember: to access the new VOS until we launch worldwide for all phases, you can access the VOS at imaginationlibrary.com/BOS. It's just BOS. That's it. To log in, use your current username and password. Did you need that? That was a good idea. Anybody else want to take a picture of that? Yeah. To log in, use your current username and password, and of course, if you can't remember that because they've been saved on your computer for 34 years, use the new login recovery system. That'd be fun. Next, when you need help and you'll have questions, the Support Center has a whole new section for the 3.0 version. Just type in 3.0 and search for it if you want to do self-help. But if you need help, if you need to contact us, then all you do is send an email to help@imaginationlibrary.com, and the subject needs to be your country plus VOS 3.0. That way you bubble to the top and we get to you immediately to answer your questions. Okay? So that was my big reveal. And I've already got applause, so I'm gonna skip over that. So, you want to see what's coming next?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I won't be as boring this time, I promise. I had a lot to cover in a short period of time. So here we go. What's coming next? Well, as I mentioned before, there are two phases. You have phase one, which is your BOS. Phase two is the new imaginationlibrary.com. Just was done with your new BOS 3.0. The all-new imaginationlibrary.com will be 100% responsive, accessible via any browser, and loaded with amazing new content and resources. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll refresh the page so you can start it from the beginning, but this is your new Imagination Library website. As soon as she knows there we go. Provided with the upgrade to the new Imagination Library website, it's going to provide easier access to important information, educate first-time and returning viewers of just exactly what the program is all about, and how it really makes a difference and allows us so many kids. We've programmed easier methods and processes for parent registration online, enhanced processes in place to bring interested organizations on board, and we've added and will continue to add a multitude of content for each of you. Content such as success stories, community resources, and we brought our very popular Imagination Library blogger blog in-house. So now before I close today, I want to close with some pretty exciting numbers. We'll just scroll through that to give you an idea of what we're looking like here. So that's the home page of the new Imagination Library website. This will launch beginning of Q4, which is October of this year. If Jeff gets his content to me, it will launch sooner.
I have a lot more now.
So, I'm going to switch back to that, finish up with my slide here, because I'm wrapping it up here, so here we go. You know, back in 1995, when Dolly first started the program, she could never have dreamed it would grow like this. But now, we all really feel, I know my team and I do, that in our heart of hearts, that really and truly, it's just getting started. You know, like it's really just getting started. And so if you just take, for example, how the program's popularity exploded on social media. If you noticed, it exploded on social media in the past several months. So, like just before Thanksgiving, just for the Facebook page alone, we had 200,000 followers. That's a lot of followers. If you do Facebook pages for your organization, you do realize that 200,000 people is a lot of people in your audience. But then Facebook came along with this idea of Facebook profile frames, and Sarah and I jumped on that bandwagon, and we started creating these profile frames because they approved us to, be a test for the profile frame. So we built all these profile frames for the Imagination Library where we put the logo in the corner. Well, lo and behold, when they published them, the world fell in love with the Imagination Library. The world fell in love, and I'll prove that to you. Because we went from having 200,000 followers to having 1.1 million followers in just a few months. And then all because of the popularity of the frames drove billions of people to the brand, to the website, to Facebook, to all social channels, and what they saw they fell in love with. So we have record-breaking registrations. We have record-breaking program popularity. We have record-breaking starter program requests. Everything that we could imagine for this year and the end of last year, we overachieved, and it was because when people got a chance to hear about this program, they absolutely fell in love with it, and they see the value. They believe in it. So in the past, I'll close up with this Facebook. In the past 8 months, just on Facebook alone, anybody know how many people are in the world?
7 billion?
That's just about right. Just a little over 7 billion. That's right. So in the past 8 months, on Facebook alone, this is how many viewers we have seen our brand. Nearly 6.5 billion people. Billion views, billion frame users. Frame users. Registration, people coming to the website asking for content. Now, will we have an opportunity like that again? Well, we hope so. We're always trying to do the next big thing, and you know, maybe Instagram's our next breakthrough, or maybe Google with the new website. We don't know, but we're always trying to do things. But what's encouraging and amazing to me is the fact that not only did we secure the opportunity to expose the brand to the world, but the world loved it. So be proud of what you're doing. We're all in this together. And we're just really getting started. So here's to another 10 years. That's it. Thank you. Done. That's it. Not less, I mean, if we've got time, if we want to do Q&A.
Yeah, we got some time for it.
Anybody want to do Q&A? Oh, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, sure. Let me have my stopwatch here. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm just going to ask about this registry.
I'll just leave it on that screen until I know what it is.
So,
The thing you showed us where parents can pre-register and then get notified that there is now a program in their area, I have heard different affiliates talk about the fact that they are having to create waiting lists.
They should not do that. Should never do that.
I've just heard that. Okay, I didn't do it.
Well, because, you know, there are a lot of things that can go wrong with that. There's so many things that can go wrong with that. Not to mention, you know, just security alone. But what the parents are expecting. You know, what are they expecting when you take their information? So what we do is we make it universally clear. It's one unified set of copy. So it's one language. I mean, you know, we're telling all the millions of parents that come to the website, we're telling them the same message. If it becomes available, we will let you know. But what we don't want to happen is parents to get on a list somewhere in some area for somebody who never becomes an affiliate, and then they use that data to raise money for their program, or to do other things, or to sell them something, or to get them to sign up for other programs. Not saying that that's happened, but that's one of the opportunity or the negative things that could happen with child lists. So no child lists. Pre-registrations is the way to go, because then we're responsible for keeping that data secure and making sure the parents hear about your program. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking her in the eye. I'm sorry.
Hi,
Can she be next? Okay.
Helen from the UK. In the UK, we have the affiliate templates for affiliates to use as websites.
Now, hold on.
website
Staff is not supposed to answer questions.
templates. Sorry.
I'm kidding. That's humor. That's my humor.
I'm also an affiliate, so can I put my affiliate hand up?
So, templates. Go ahead.
Yeah, website templates for affiliates to use. Are they still available? Or
They are not available until the BOS 3.0 completely launches with the new website. They are not currently available, but they will be as of after October.
So affiliates, because I've got some affiliates who have the templates. Will they have to move them over or something?
No, there'll be some retrofitting to make some of the pieces work, but we'll be responsible for that, which is why we're not offering new ones at this time.
Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. Good question. Thank you, Jeff. Sorry about that.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Have you all thought about ways to allow parents to access the Dolly Parton Imagination Library whereby there's not an affiliate in their area? Has there been any talk about, you know, there's a lot, I'm from Arkansas, and we're trying to get it in all 75 counties, but I'm a new grandmother too. And my baby needs those books.
Well, that's a big question, but that's above my pay scale. I do the BOS, but I don't think I would even attempt to answer that, because that has a lot of different ways it could be
Well, we
answered.
need some answers because, you know.
I know, but I'm your BOS guy. I'm your
Oh,
support.
okay.
I tell you, he can give you that answer. Jeff can do that.
I'd like to get back to the waiting list. We are a small affiliate. We have difficulty raising funds. We have no, support from local governments and things of that nature. We have created a waiting list, not online, but when I get a paper registration, I have to notify a parent that we don't have the funds yet to enroll that child. So, am I wrong in keeping that type of a waiting list manually?
Well, I'm not going to I'm not qualified to have a complete discussion about why waiting lists are bad, other than what I've talked about, but I will give you an answer to your question, and here it is. If you are not offering the program, then it should not be available on the Imagination Library website. What that means is, if you, for example, have 37862 as your coverage area, and this month you don't have money to pay for the books, and you know you're not going to have it next month or the next month, but maybe have it in month 6, then you should not be as an active affiliate showing on the Imagination Library website. Plain and simple.
Okay.
The regional director.
If I could interject.
Yeah.
I think the key is communication. I think what Jacob said, there's 2 issues. Is first, you don't want anybody to be on a database, so there's security issues, but then also so that you can make sure that those parents aren't thinking that they're going to get a book. But I think your regional directors would be glad to walk you through the best way to handle that. Because I think there are some steps, not necessarily that you do anything wrong, but there's some ways that we can convince that so that it's fair to the parents and you as well.
Thank you, Christy. Thank you.
Could you tell me again how to access BOS 3.0? I have my laptop or my iPad in front of me, and when I go to the button that I've got, I'm still getting the same website that I've gotten forever.
It's imaginationlibrary.com/BOS.
/BOS is what I'm missing. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, I can answer that question.
I think there's one right here,
Okay. I bet he's got your mic coming. Sorry.
and then there's one in the back. Okay.
Sorry, I have 2 quick questions. One is there any way to quickly find if there's an affiliate just by zip code without a full address? We get a lot of grandparents, parents at events, and they're like, do you have it in Richmond, Virginia? And I try to get them to, so how do I do that?
Just go to Find My Affiliate on imaginationlibrary.com and type in the zip code, and it'll tell you.
And that's a quick, okay.
If that zip code, if
Just a zip code.
Well, yes, and if that zip code happens to end up like in some of Tennessee, we have a zip code that's split into a couple of counties, then it'll show you the list of affiliates within that zip code, and then you would have to ask them what county.
Right. So and where is that Find My Affiliate?
Imaginationlibrary.com, choose your country, and then click Find My Affiliate from the left menu.
And then my second question is, I saw pending in the registration alerts, the possible duplicates.
Yes.
That's new, right?
No, that is there currently, but it is not broken out currently. Currently, it's broken out under registration, and then it has an icon that tells you it's a possible duplicate. But it's currently under the registration alerts, just like it's a new registration.
Okay, so it's only, that's when I put in a registration, it says they possibly exist over here. It doesn't, there's no new analysis of like my existing. I do a check once in a while to find duplicates because they slip in there.
Well, like, let's say you hadn't added any kids, but another affiliate had added a child that was a duplicate, possibly a duplicate of one in your existing database, then then that record could possibly be, in that case, it would actually be either a delete request or a transfer request. So no, you're right, yeah.
Okay,
So,
and then a quick observation, I pulled up the new one on my iPad and my partner here did it on her laptop. I do not get any of the pending alerts, registration alerts on the iPad.
Okay.
It shows up on the.
Well, it's
on the
according to your
laptop.
screen size, so yeah. So what you'll do is, on your iPad, you'll go to your daily operations. And then under daily operations, where you have child management, there are pending.
So I
That's
have to
where,
go through each one of them. It doesn't have the summary. That's too bad. I do like
It-
that little.
it doesn't have the red notation, but yeah, you can actually go to all and see them all, and then you can go to them separately. But no, it doesn't have room for that on the.
Okay.
Can you tell me again where the population count is per zip code?
Coverage area. So when you go, you logged in as the coordinator, so what's your login type? Okay, so you should have, it may be a main coordinator task. I'll have to check to see, but it should be under your daily operations affiliate. If you don't have that option, then it would be the main coordinator. Yeah, okay, the main coordinator.
Nobody else ever.
Okay. Well, then that means that you would need to send a support ticket to help. And then you can be changed from a coordinator to a main coordinator. That might hold true.
Can you go over again about an online enrollment or how they create their own password for the area? They can do that themselves?
I didn't quite get that.
Right, someone enrolling online
Yes, ma'am.
and they want to be able to access the parent area,
Uh-huh.
do they set up their own password?
No, no, ma'am. Well, when they register online, they have to provide an email address in order to register online.
Right.
So when they submit that information, then they get a notification that everything's submitted in a pending status. And then when you go and review that child's registration and you approve, the system creates an account for them automatically, sends them an email saying their child was approved and here is their account information.
Okay, how about if over time they've lost it, need to change it? Do we still send you an email?
No, you just go into that child's record, edit, and change the email address. And when you save the record, it will send them a new account.
Oh, it'll send them a new, okay.
Yep.
I'm not sure if this is for you or for you, but if you're getting this information and you have, say you had a county and there's thousands of kids that are wanting to get the books, but there's not, obviously there's not an affiliate, does somebody reach out? Do you try to find somebody in that
That's a
county?
Jeff question.
Okay. Do you try to find somebody in that county that could take that, become an affiliate, or is that just out there until somebody steps forward to do all? So are you proactive looking for affiliates, or do you wait for them to come to you? Okay. Yes. So,
We can, Jeff, they want everybody to hear your answer.
so we go to events weekly. Sorry, we go to events weekly. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to, he asked me a question, so I'm trying to explain it a little bit better. We go to events weekly, and I'm from Chattanooga, and where we sit, we're on the county line, and we also, there's a lot of different states. We actually serve 2 different states, not just counties. But there's a county that's, they pretty much live and work. They work in Chattanooga, they live in this other county that's in Georgia, but it's unavailable. So we go to events weekly, and I can't tell you how many people I turn away because we don't serve that county. We serve 3 in Georgia, 2 in Tennessee, but we don't serve that county. So if we were to create a waiting list, we would have thousands at this point, and that's just the ones we see. So if they went online, and let's say there was 10,000 kids in that county that wanted books, when you look at that, when you see that data, do you all say, we need to reach out, try to find an affiliate, or do you just wait for affiliates to come to you?
Yes, get your mind.
So Jacob has created, there's a map for us, and it's a heat map. And so we can look across the United States and see where there are high levels of interest. And so Christy Krause and Pam Hunsaker, who's our regional directors, if you guys want to speak to that a little bit, I don't know if they regularly go in and look at those hotspots and proactively reach out to those counties. But I know we're constantly trying to proactively create affiliates.
So the answer is both. You know, I mean, we reach out when we can, and we are always happy for people to reach out to us. So the short answer is both.
I'm sorry, and the number of children graduated in any specific county, is that still just 12 months?
On reporting, it's total graduate data. But if you want to download a list of graduates, it's only 12 months. That's for privacy laws. So you can't hold data after you're not providing them a service. That keeps us in line with child data protection laws. We have to really walk softly. If you think they're bad here in the U.S., you should know what they are in the U.K. And they're getting worse, as they should be. Because you hear how people getting breached and hacked, and imagine how valuable this information would be to someone who's wanting to sell baby food.
Will you take a MailChimp question?
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
So I've been using MailChimp, but I must be doing something wrong.
Okay.
Because the last email that I sent out, when I looked at how many people actually viewed that email, and we're doing a phone-a-thon right now to all of our 950 families, I would say less than a quarter of them have viewed that email. So what am I doing wrong?
Well, first of all, don't be alarmed that a quarter of them open your email. Because in a business, 25% open rate is giant. Giant. Now, when we send out automated messaging, like account information or important information about a change of affiliate coverage or whatever it might be, we get, for the Imagination Library, we get about a 70 to 80% open rate, which is just unheard of these days, but it's because of what the program is and what it means to the parents that receive that notification. So you can get more than 25. 25 is not anything to balk at. That's a good number. But make your goal, set your goal to 30 or 35, and then read. And MailChimp has one of the most awesome support centers with great how-to tutorial videos, really plain, easy to understand, even for those who have just started. Just set a goal for yourself to increase that by 5% by the end of this quarter, and maybe check a couple. I know that the three things that I know that people love to open are information about events, and information about reading tips, and program information in general. Your organization's information, like year to date or a year in review or something of that sort. So just set yourself a goal and improve the content to try to increase the open rate.
What they see.
I'm sorry?
Like the subject. Am I doing something wrong with the subject?
Well, I don't want to get too in depth with that, but that's a good question. When you create a MailChimp campaign, the first thing MailChimp asks you is what kind of campaign you want to create. And it's easier to create, one of the answers, the first answer is regular old campaign, because MailChimp has some funny language in it to make you laugh. I mean, their mascot is a chimpanzee, so. But they say, do you want to create a regular old campaign or an AB campaign, and then a couple of others. Choose AB. And what that does is that lets you create your campaign, clone it, make significant or insignificant changes to each. So you have maybe the identical content, but the subject's different, you see? Or maybe it's the identical subject, but the content is different. Or maybe the content's the same, but the order is different. And what it'll do is it'll test, and it'll tell you which one is likely to get the most open and clicks, and then you can send the one that wins. Okay?
Jacob, trying to see if...
I've been looking for you.
Thank you,
Richard,
for all your help over the years, by the way.
It's my honor. Thank you.
App Store, having the Dolly Parton Imagination Library app so that you know that it's taking you to the correct login. For some reason I'm finding test one on mine and go into the old system. Have you thought anything about making it an app?
Well, here's the thing, when you have an application, the reason why you have an application is because it is going to make you money, whether it be a donations application or a business selling, a business that gives away a free game is not giving away a free game for nothing. They're selling advertisement, they're selling something. So I said that because having an application is very expensive. And we are able to manage a worldwide program with a very small team of programmers and designers. It would take double that to have an application. Just one that allows us to do exactly what we do now with the new BOS. So the only difference is that it would be available in the App Store. And the fact is, you can actually download, you can actually save any website to your device now and have it as an icon on your desktop, just like an application. So we weighed out, and right now it just didn't seem like the right decision financially when we can get so much more for our money going the route we did. So.
I'll try to ask this, it's a strategy question from a boss perspective. Kind of goes back to one of the earliest questions, not about a waiting list, but when...
Please don't.
I won't, don't worry. But, okay, I got a new county. I got $5,000 that came in this year. It's a grant. They want people in this year. It's a limited amount. There's only so many that I can add. Got it set. I'm going to add the zip code. Now, when you add a zip code in the box, it's there. It's available. People can see it. So what happens is that my strategy is I'm looking for a certain number of children. I know that just because it's out there, I all of a sudden get 30, 40% more. That all of a sudden I have to try and
that's the game.
Accommodate. That's the game. But that is also one of the challenges is that so once you get a zip code in there, you're open.
Right. No. Well, I'll touch on that, but that's not. I'll just touch on that, and then Jeff, feel free to jump in. That's it. That's what the program is. So if you're going to offer that program, you're going to offer that program in that area. Now, we have made it. We tried it in every way, technically, to alleviate some of the stress of that, but that is that's it. So how we've tried to alleviate some of that pressure is you're not just adding a zip code. You're adding a zip code within a city, within a state, within a county, so it's specific. And if you're in Canada or the United Kingdom, you're adding, in the United Kingdom, you can literally draw it with a cursor around a city, a city block, So the only reason we're restricted there is because of our postal system. We ran out of numbers. That's a joke. We didn't run out of numbers, but we only have a few thousand zip codes here, and where other countries have millions. But in addition to making it that specific, we also have a front end flag, and the front end flag allows you to say, available in this school district only, for example. So we've given you as many tools that we can think of at the moment. We're always welcome to ideas and to expand on and to help with that pressure. But that's kind of it.
Yeah, well, and that is the biggest challenge of the game is because you have limitations with grant funding, but also you need to have the kids. The goal is to get the books out. Right. Sometimes,
Thank y'all very much. I think that's it, isn't it, Jen? Okay. Oh, I didn't. Did you have a question still?
No, I was just gonna take the comments.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank y'all very much.